That's better.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shawn, and this is my friend Hamani, and this is my friend Fred. Today, we would like to talk about the test questions about the university. And we interviewed 9 persons in a different place, such as Subway, Starbucks, and UCL main campus. And let's turn to my friend Hamani.
Now I'm going to talk about the reason why students fail on the test. First reason is bad teachers. Okay. No one ever wants to say that this is factual. We know teachers should be respected. Also, they should be challenged to meet the needs of every student in a classroom. Next, not asking questions. Like the students who fail are those who are not ready to say that they need help. So both of these reasons, the result is one is they will fail on test. And now Shawn will talk about the first question.
And the first question is, have you ever failed a test in a university before? And based on the 9 persons, the half of them said yes. Because the reason is almost the two reasons. The lazy and don't have enough interesting about their major. I think this kind of are difficult things to solve this question. If you want to pass all the tests, you must work hard and pay enough attention to the major. And the person who said yes, who said no, is because they study hard and some of them get a big glass on their nose. I think it stands for they work hard every day and start all the days. And some of them are just a freshman in the university. And all the things they should do is study. So let's turn to my friend Hamani. He will interview the second question.
Now I will talk about the second question, which is what are the reasons why you think university students fail the test? About 33% of students who interviewed, they said the major reason why students fail is don't study and they don't manage their time. And some of them thought that some students don't have enough time because they have a job and they study, so they don't have enough time. And some people said some students don't do the homework and just play video game and go to bed like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So there are many reasons why students don't pass their classes. But in my opinion, I think most of you students who don't pass, they don't do the homework and don't review the notes. And now we will move to Fred to talk about the question number 3 and conclusion.
Okay. The third question is, what can students do successful pass their university exams? In our 9 interview students, most of them said take notes in the class. It's really helpful to pass the exam, and ask help, go to the office hour and view before the test, can get a good grade in the test. And some of them think manage time and pay attention to the teacher in class and practice more after the class. It's also helpful to pass the exam. There has some interesting answer for me. Some person said they can be smarter, but I don't know how they can train themselves to be smarter and achieve this goal. And don't go to the party. I think it's.
You think what?
And practice themselves more energy to have active in the class. It's also important. Finally, I'd like to recap what we have discussed here today. The first question is, have you ever failed in the test before? In our interviews, there have 50% of person failed in the test, but another persons, they are new here and everything is new for them, so they would work hard and don't want to get failed in the test. And the second question, most of them think they don't study during the student study time, and they don't know how to manage the time in their free hours. And the third question is, what can students do to successfully pass their university exams? Most of them think take notes and review after the class, and work hard can really help them pass the exam, and some of them really do that. Thank you for your attention. That's all.
You have any question?
How do your school do when students fail in test?
I think in American is you need to repay the price of this class and just come back. And if you pass it, it's enough. And if you don't pass it, I think you need to repay the price.
So what about in your country?
In my country, is if you failed 7 class, you will be kicked out. And if not
7?
7, yeah. And if not 7, you can continue. But maybe you just give in the university, they will give out 2 degrees. And maybe they just give you only 1. So.
Wait, I'm sorry, could you clarify that? In the university, most people get 2 degrees?
Yes.
But if you fail 7 classes, you only get 1?
No, if you don't fail 7 class, but you fail some class,
Okay.
you will just get 1.
Okay, I see. So if you fail 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now. Thank you.
You say one of the reasons because that student failed is the bad teacher, but I think it's not logical reason because any. Okay, Hamani,
What's your
I know
question?
Huh?
What's your question?
My question is, it's not logical reason because in any university or school there is rules or law control this organization.
So your question is?
My question is, do you think it is logical reason, the bad teacher?
Yes. As I see, there are good teachers and there are bad teachers. We cannot say all the teachers good and all the teachers are bad. There are some reason we see is like teacher is not good, but not all of them. Some like a little of them, some of them. I don't say all of them. They are bad teacher, and we don't want, as I said, no one ever want to say that this is factor. So there are teacher are reasons for students to fail in a test.
Question for Hamani. Do you think the student must read the rules for the test before the test?
Yes, because it will help them to do better in the exam.
do you think friends affects on the success or failure in the test?
Can you repeat it?
Do you think friends affects on the success or failure in the test?
Failure.
Failure in the test.
Friends.
Friends, yeah.
Friends.
Yeah, I think about the relationship, it can make this, like for example, if I have bad friends, so that will lead me to go with them party and like waste my time and don't study.
And I think if anything is depends on you. If you have even you have a bad friend, just like if you call you and say let's go party, and you said no, I'm studying. It depends on you. And if you just say okay, it's your problem. It's not. I don't think it's kind of all the friends' problem. And you know, if you have some good friend, that's good because the good friend will study with you, and you will all get a good job.
I think sometimes it's necessary because a girlfriend can provide you a great environment to study better. But if you have a strong control, you can
Of yourself? Control of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
control yourself to ignore this bother.
These distractions. Yeah. We would say if you have good discipline, if you have good focus. Yeah.
So, I don't know, how did a bad teacher affect students?
They cannot, like for example, the teacher don't explain the major good. They don't explain the unit good. Also, they maybe they don't answer the question. That it depends.
And I think the teacher you have interest in of this teacher, and you think it's good teacher. And if you don't have interest in with this teacher, you think it's bad teacher. I think
How to depend, how to
it depends on you. If you're interested with this teacher, yeah.
I think it depends about the student. Like if there are 10 students this class, and they said like 80% of them said yeah, it's not good teacher, but so just one of them is not like necessary to say this teacher is not good.
I don't think so. I have ever met my teacher. She just only read in the book. She didn't teach anymore. I think in this case it's not good.
Yes, please.
I have a question for Frank. Have you ever met a bad teacher?
Have you ever what like that teacher?
Have you ever met or
Bit?
meet?
Meet. Have you
Meet.
ever met?
Have you ever met a bad teacher?
Yes, I think so. In my high school, my
I was nervous.
my head teacher, I think he is implied. She want to talk about my family's background in the class. So I really don't like her. Because I think it's my personal thing. She shouldn't talk about in the class.
I agree.
I will ask you, if you did not pass class, what do you feel and what did you do?
And I think it's in the start of the day, I know I will feel very upset because this means I do not work hard in this time and I need to spend a lot of money to repay the price. And after this, I will just study again. And I trust, I get this class before and I trust myself I can do it in the future. Yeah.
Failing a test for you is a good thing or a bad thing?
Taking a test?
Failure.
Failure. Ooh, good question. Let's hear from all three of you.
In my opinion, failing in a test can, it's a good thing for me. First of all, it can warning me to study hard, to pay attention. I should care about the mistakes what I made, and the second. Maybe I need to practice more to pass this exam, and finally, I think.
Okay, Shawn. Yes, I think it's kind of the good things and bad things. The good thing is make me know what exactly I am, and it's just like it's boring us. It means you need to work hard. And the bad thing is, the field test is not a good thing, and so yeah.
In my opinion, it's for me, it's terrible because I never fail in test or not in fail in test or in class.
You never failed a class? You never failed a test?
The test? No. Yeah, for me it's terrible, and I want to continue with this. But for some students it's good, and sometimes for me it's good. Like I will learn from my mistake, and I will do better on the next test.
More questions? So, what is your advice to students who are failing a class or failing many tests? What's your advice? So each one of you, what would your advice be?
I think my advice is, if you fail a test, it must because you do not work hard, and maybe you don't have enough interest about this class.
Maybe you don't understand.
Yeah, maybe you don't understand. Maybe you meet a bad teacher. This kind of thing. But I think all the things you need to find the reason from yourself. I mean, you must need to study hard and maybe list your sleep time, this kind of thing. And I think it's very hard to fail again. So the give up is not a good way to face to the field test. I think you still need to work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion,
So,
if you are failure in a test, maybe you can borrow your friend's notebook. You can copy this one, and if you don't understand these things, you can ask your friend to help, and practice more after the class. Be confident about yourself. It might be a psychological encourage for yourself.
I tell students that all the time. If you think you can't, you won't. Right? You got to think, I can do it. Right, thanks.
For me, first he needs to never give up, and I will encourage him, you can do it and like this. Next, I will advise him to study more and work hard and spend more time in our office to learn more, and ask your friends, and don't be shy to ask your friend.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask a kind of a different question. So that's like, you all answered about in class. What about like the TOEFL test or the IBT or the IELTS? If you don't do well there, if your friend gets a very bad score on that type of test, that standardized type of test, what's your advice to them then?
I think the TOEFL test and this kind of test is very hard, even very hard for some person from 700 levels.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think the only thing you need to do is practice. Just like, I know there are some book about the TOEFL test, you can buy it in any place. And I think just focus on the book, and I think TOEFL test is kind of very tough.
Mm.
And if you just practice, you will be better.
Mm.
And actually, I have some friends they failed before, but now they get a very good score about the TOEFL test.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Because they practiced.
yeah, practice.
Cool. Yeah, they're really
I think he can focus on more about TOEFL's books and memory more academic word. Practice more speaking because the speaking I think is really hard because it's complex with reading and listening.
Yeah, it is.
So maybe you can go to church to practice
Yeah. Yeah.
this skill.
Thank you.
That's all.
For me, as a Fred said, learn more academic work. I think it's the key for the exam. Because when I learn more academic work, it will high my grade, and it will help me to know when I read when I have read exam, I will know more academic work and will understand the topic.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you. Do you guys have any other questions?